And we continue at 2:06 in the afternoon. It's the John Phillips Show. Mr. Randy Wangs in Culver City.
John, at the end of his interview with Conan Nolan, Javier Baccaria was asked a very important question that I hope he commits to.
Can you pledge not to have a podcast?
As if this state needs another one.
Can you pledge not to have a podcast if you're governor?
I'll come on your show. That'll take care of it.
It's always nice to see you.
Every political reporter in the state, every Capitol reporter in the state, and myself, we are all sick of all the podcasts we have to listen to all week.
Well, all of them have one. And none of them are particularly entertaining.
Well, except for Pamela Price's.
She called me a crime boss.
800-222-5222 is the telephone number, 1-800-222-5222. Well, the state of California is experiencing a lot of problems right now, whether it is the insurance crisis, crime, homelessness, water, fires, you name it, we're dealing with it statewide. In the city of Los Angeles, it's even more acute than that. As we experienced during the last round of fires when there was no water in the fire hydrant, the reservoir was empty of water, and the Department of Water and Power forgot to tell the fire department that there was no water in the reservoir. The mayor was not here in Los Angeles to lead the city through the fires. She went to a party in Africa and said that she was in charge of the city via text message on her cell phone. But then when the LA Times asked for those text messages, she said they're all deleted, so she can't provide them. And now her poll numbers are in the basement. A new poll that was recently released suggested that if she runs for re-election, which she says she will, she'll be defeated. The governor's office is going to be vacant when Gavin Newsom is termed out, cannot run for a third term, meaning some new person will be elected governor of California. We just played for you the sound of former Attorney General Javier Baccaria, who is a candidate for governor. But I'm sure there are a lot of people out there who are kicking tires on the possibility of running for office because the people in charge have flown this state into a mountain. One of those people is a man who has put his name on the ballot before. He is a familiar face in Los Angeles, for those of you who watch TMZ and other newspapers here in California and beyond. He not only has been a California resident for many years, he has lived abroad as well. He is the husband of Zsa Zsa Gabor, the widower of Zsa Zsa Gabor, who you can follow on X at Prince von Anhalt. Prince Freric von Anhalt, welcome.
Well, John, good to hear your voice. I'm a resident for 43 years of California, so I know California very well. It's my favorite state. I love to be here, but the state is totally run down. The state is run down, the city is run down, and now if you want to ask me if I would run for governor again, I'm not going to do it because I'm an old guy. I'm 80 years old. You see, when I was running in 2010, I was 65. That was different. You know, being old, we saw just with our president, with President Biden. I feel sorry, not sorry for what he did. I feel sorry for him because he's just an elderly guy. He is old. He didn't know what he was doing. So I'm old now, too. I'm close to Biden, so I know I cannot do it. I will not run. I will not run for governor. I will not run for mayor. You know, people my age, they should run. They should run away from all the responsibilities and have a good time for the rest of their life, but never run for an office. We should leave that to the younger generation. So I would recommend, a business guy. We need in California, we need in Sacramento, we need a business guy, a guy like Rick Caruso. Rick Caruso would be the best governor for California. And for mayor, I don't know. I don't know even if the mayor is in Los Angeles, if she is still in Africa. I don't know because we don't hear anything. She doesn't get out. Nobody talks about her. She's just done. I don't know. I don't even know her name. Period. I lived so long I don't even know her name. I didn't elect her, I didn't vote for her, and I didn't vote for Newsom.
Have you ever seen the state of California, the condition of the state, this bad before?
It's horrible. It's horrible. I mean, I worry about the homeless people and I worry about the crime. Homeless people, I do my exercise in the night. I run 2 miles every night, and I never saw so many homeless people, so many people sleeping without a pillow and out a blanket. This governor should do it for one night, sleep outside. Those people, they sleep in the wintertime, in the summertime. For years, I see some people since the last 10 years, they sleep there. This is horrible, and the crime is getting horrible. The way people talk to the police is unbelievable. Shouldn't happen. The police should be tougher. We should have new laws. They should be tough. We need security. We want to be secured. People who don't like security, they are criminals already. People really, I mean, this is sick what's going on in the city and sick what's going on in the state. It has to change. I came over in the 80s, and it was beautifully done. We had a good president, Ronald Reagan. I ended up in the White House. Jascha Gabor took me in the White House. When I was running for governor, I ran against Mac Whitman. She lost. She lost $150 million. I lost only $3 million. And the guy who didn't put anything in was Jerry Brown, and he was a very, very good governor. But right now, this is messy, up and down, left and right, and that has to be changed. We shouldn't even wait for the election. We should recall this guy in Sacramento tomorrow. We shouldn't even wait. And the mayor, too. She should go, too. We need new people. There are lots of good people in this town. There are lots of good people in California. California is a beautiful state, but the intelligent, good people, they move out because they can't stand it anymore. And we don't want it. We want to keep them here in California. So make sure they stay in California. Make sure we are going to change those people in Sacramento and Los Angeles immediately.
Now, you mentioned that you've lived here for decades. When you moved here, compared to how it is now, can you describe how glamorous California was when you first got here?
Oh, my God. I met, I was married to Jascha Gabor 33 years. I lived with her for 35 years. I met old Hollywood. It was glamorous, and people went out. You went to Rodeo Drive. You saw Jascha Gabor, Liz Taylor, all those girls walking the streets, not having security or limo. They walked the streets. They went in shopping and doing like that. And in the restaurant, it's not glamorous anymore. It's done. We are totally done. Beverly Hills is dead. Business like the Café Roma was a huge meeting place. It's closed. The Sunset Plaza, the Le Petit Four, it's closed. All those people, they closed down. They can't afford the rent anymore. This is what's going on in California. This has to stop immediately. People get sick and tired of it. I am sick and tired. And I talk to lots of people, and they're sick and tired too. People live a miserable life right now. And it has to change. It has to change immediately.
Now, your lovely bride, Jascha Gabor, if she were still alive today, would you feel comfortable walking her down Rodeo Drive, walking her down Sunset Boulevard if she was wearing her beautiful jewels and gowns and furs?
No way. No way. She wouldn't. Yeah, I couldn't. Listen, I mean, with all the jewelry, I would put it in the safe. She wouldn't wear any jewelry if she was still alive. You can't do it anymore. I mean, I can't even wear my men's watch. I'm afraid. People give me a look sometimes. When I have to take some pictures or do a TV show. Shooting along the streets. I put on my watch only for the picture, and then I take it off and put it in my pocket again. You can't do it anymore. It's unsafe. You hardly see police, driving around and doing stuff. The police used to walk the streets. They don't do that anymore. They hide in their cars. This is sick what's going on. It's totally sick. It's no safe anymore. I wouldn't walk the streets with my wife if she were alive. I wouldn't do it. I would keep her at home. I don't feel safe. How would I feel safe with my wife, with older Julian? No, this is gone. And when you go through Beverly Hills, you don't see those girls going around with jewelry anymore. You don't see that anymore. And this is sick. You know, we are talking about Beverly Hills. We are talking about Hollywood, about red carpets. This is all gone. We have the Oscars, a couple of things, but that's it. People don't want it anymore. They hide. They're afraid. They don't want to be robbed. And, you know, it's not only that they get robbed, they also get hurt. I always told Jasha, you know, when we drove home, even, I said, listen, give me your jewelry, take the jewelry off. And she said, why? I said, well, we have to go home and we have to stop on the gate, you know, and if somebody hides on the gate and is going to rob us, they have to knock me out first. So you better take the jewelry off, and I put it in my pocket, you know. I was afraid then. But today, it's horrible. It's plain horrible. The glamour is gone. And this is Hollywood. I wonder what people, you know, who visit California, what they say when they go home to Europe, what they talk about. You go, Hollywood Boulevard is so dirty. Our mayor doesn't do anything about Hollywood Boulevard. You know, we have all the tourists up there, but it looks filthy dirty. This place looks filthy dirty, and we have to take care of it. We have to have a change in here. We definitely have to.
Now, you and Jaja had a beautiful home in Bel Air, up in the hills here in Los Angeles. With these recent round of fires that we had, we learned that in Pacific Palisades, there was no water in the fire hydrant. As someone who lived in an area that was at fire risk, that had to drive you crazy hearing that fact.
Well, I mean, it drove me crazy, you know. Thank God nothing happened up there, and thank God nothing happened where I am right now. But, I mean, no water, you know. Listen to me. This is so sick. We shouldn't even talk about it. This is sick, you know. There's no water. There's no water to put a fire out. This is totally sick. I mean, it drives me out of my mind. It drives lots of people out of their mind. How unsafe do we live here? In such a rich state, in such a rich city, how unsafe do we live? That has to stop. It's totally sick.
Now, when you travel and you go to Europe and you talk to people in Europe, and people ask you about the glamour of Hollywood, they ask you about California, are they aware that we've taken a turn for the worse, or do they think of us as being old Hollywood, where things are still glamorous?
No, John. Look, I go very often to Europe. I travel the world. I never say anything. You know what I talk when I talk to the people? I talk about the red carpet. I talk how beautiful everything is. I give them a bunch of flowers, you know. I don't want to talk about the homeless people. I only talk positive to them, you know. I don't want them to know. We don't want them to know. But some people come over and they see it. But I don't talk about that, and we shouldn't talk about it. You know, this is America. Hopefully, it's going to change. It's going to change to the better. It will change. It can't get worse. Let's put it that way. It can't get worse. It can only change to the better. We don't want the world to know what's going on over there, and nobody should talk. Nobody. We all should talk good about Hollywood, how it was, you know, 30, 40, 50 years ago. People should think it still looks like it was 40 years ago. You know what I mean? We don't want any bad news out of it. Hollywood is Hollywood. It's big. The name Hollywood will never go under. It should never go under, and we should take care of it. It should not go under. Hollywood is loved all over the world. When I talk in Germany about Hollywood, people, oh my God, this guy comes from Hollywood. Hollywood is big. Yes, Hollywood is big. That's how I talk.
Now, last question before you go. You mentioned that you were here during the golden era of Hollywood. Your wife, Zsa Zsa Gabor, Elizabeth Taylor, a lot of the leading ladies that would sell tickets to movies. They were on the cover of magazines. They were glamorous. Do you think this generation of Hollywood starlets matches up to that generation?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't, and it makes me really feel bad. You know, you don't see anybody. I mean, I'm a Beverly Hills guy. I go every day to Beverly Hills. I don't see anybody. The restaurants, I don't see anybody. Even the younger people shouldn't be worried, young people. I don't know what they're afraid of. They don't want to go. They only go, I tell you what, they only go when they get paid. At that time, old Hollywood, they went for free. They went to Fred Haman, Valentino. They went to the place in Rodeo Drive. They went shopping, sometimes they got something for free just to go there. But the young generation, young Hollywood, they don't want to go out unless they get paid. And that's bad. They should show themselves, should go to Hollywood. Why don't they walk Hollywood Boulevard, the Walk of Fame is? It's called the Walk of Fame. Why don't they walk a little bit and show themselves, and take some pictures with the tourists? Do it on Hollywood Boulevard, do it in Beverly Hills. They don't do it. They don't do it. You don't see anybody. It's quiet. And since the places are closed like Sunset Plaza and Cafe Roma, you don't see Stallone anymore. You don't see Schwarzenegger anymore. You don't see anybody. They're all at home. They don't go out anymore. Nobody is outside. You know what I mean? I walk the streets. I see it. There's nothing. New Hollywood is very, very strange. Wonderful artists, but very strange people. And I believe it's their agents. They keep them at home. They said, you stay at home unless you get paid. That's probably the new rule.
Prince Freric von Anhalt, thank you so much for stopping by. It sounds like you're doing good. We'd love to hear your voice. Thank you so much.
Thank you, John. I listen to you all the time on radio. Thank you.
All right. We'll chat again real soon. Thank you, Prince. You can follow the Prince on X at Prince von Anhalt. And Randy, now that the end of the show is quickly approaching, if you want to continue listening to us after we sign off, that's easy to do.
Let's say that you need a double dose of Shang in your life.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Search for The John Phillips Show wherever you get your podcasts.
And he said absolutely.
Whether that's Apple Podcasts,
Absolutely.
iHeartRadio,
Absolutely.
Spotify.
That,
Search for The John Phillips Show, hit subscribe, and you get all the Shang to your delights.
How are you?
absolutely good.
Love to shake your hand.
Yes, it's been amazing.
And coming up later on this week, Randy, you and I are going to the beach.
It's almost here. This Friday, we're going to Long Beach, everyone. We're celebrating the 20th anniversary of Gladstone's Long Beach and the 50th anniversary of the Long Beach Grand Prix. Join us Friday, April 11th from noon to 3 for Fan Free Friday. We'll be broadcasting live from the beautiful patio right on the Rainbow Harbor in Long Beach. We're going to be inside the restaurant, but it's going to be gorgeous out there. The view is amazing, and so is the food. Gladstone's Long Beach, a great location for a date night, delicious get-together with friends, a sunset cocktail, family meals, and celebrations. Gladstone's Long Beach is located directly across from the Pike Shopping Center. Make a reservation and join us. There's going to be a lot of closures. Parking's going to be at the Pike because of the Grand Prix. So leave early, but make sure you get there. These events are so much fun. You'll meet people, and you'll have so much in common with them because you both waste 3 hours a day listening to this show.
Now, of all of the wonderful dishes that we were served at our last event there at Gladstone's, which was your favorite?
Oh, the poke nachos. Those were tremendous.
The poke nachos were good, but I am a sucker for raw oysters. Anytime a raw oyster is put in front of my face, let me tell you, if there's a pearl, it's mine. The city and county of San Francisco is experiencing a tough time right now with their budget. They're looking for places to cut, looking for places to save money, keep their city going. However, they're cutting in a place that you would not anticipate the city of San Francisco cutting. Randy, they're cutting latrines.
The San Francisco budget is so bad that Mayor Lurie is asking for a 15% across the board in every department, which has the Board of Public Works and the Public Works Department thinking, maybe we can cut down on our toilets.
Because if there's anything that San Francisco doesn't need more of, it's toilets.
Well, we did do that story where even where there are public toilets, like in Portsmouth Square, it doesn't matter. The people there pee outside anyway.
Yeah, well, that was a bunch of old guys who were sitting around a park playing cards, and my theory is 100% correct, and at some point they should try it out. One woman joins that card game, and those guys will start going to the bathroom in the right place, because the first time they don't, the woman playing cards with them will say, And just exactly what do you think you're doing?
For more on the possible closure of San Francisco public toilets, a.k.a. pit stops, here's KGO, ABC 7 in the Bay Area.
Well, you could call it San Francisco's #1 problem.
Oh, no. We're going heavy with the puns today, aren't we?
Oh, a little toilet humor.
Well, you could call it San Francisco's #1 problem. With all of the people on the streets, how do you keep the streets clean from the people?
Notice what she emphasized in that word?
Yeah, I picked up on that.
With that, good evening. I'm Dion Lim.
And I'm Dan Ashley. Thanks for joining us. Budget cuts could do a number on one of San Francisco's very popular programs. Pit stops are public bathrooms staffed with an attendant to maintain safety and quality. They're used a lot, about a flush a minute.
Wait, an attendant?
Well, you got to keep them clean.
Now, it's not someone trying to sell you gum or give you cologne or things of that nature.
Well, when I hear bathroom attendant, I assume this guy's going to hand me a moist towelette and I should hand him $1.
Yes, but for public restrooms, have you ever seen an attendant in a public restroom?
Hey, if it keeps the bathroom clean, that's all I care about.
No, I think they're there to make sure that people don't do meth in there.
Well, yes.
They're used a lot, about a flush a minute, according to the city's Department of Public Works. But
yeah, that's not something we want to cut.
No.
But the 10-year-old program could see some rollback soon.
ABC 7 News political reporter Monica Madden joins us live now, and we got to talk about the reasoning here.
Yeah, I mean, money talks, and this one all comes down to budget cuts with San Francisco's mounting deficit. Mayor Daniel Lurie is asking departments to propose 15% cuts to help balance the budget, but some residents are making a big stink over.
Oh, no.
That's what, the third one?
They can't help themselves sometimes. Do better.
But
it's just gratuitous.
But some residents are making a big stink over the Department of Public Works considerations to reduce pit stops.
We've all been there. A nice stroll in the city, spoiled by a stench. And one of San Francisco's decade-long solutions might be seeing some changes.
There are 30 citywide pit stops throughout San Francisco, and there you can find city workers. They keep a log, keeping track of how many people are coming in and using the pit stops. They send that back to the...
Are they tracking what people are doing in there?
Well, they can track the number of flushes, it seems.
Using the pit stops, they send that back to the Department of Public Works so they have an idea of how many people are using it. Now, it's pretty simple. You push this button, and it's all totally free. The door opens automatically.
How far are we going with this demonstration?
I hope not too far.
You step in. There's a button to lock it. You press that. Once you're done, you hit the open door button.
Okay, I was worried for a second.
You know, news reporters should be like the Cosbys. They're never naked and they never go to the bathroom.
Step right out. It'll close behind you, and it self-cleans itself, so the city workers don't even have to do that. You shouldn't have to...
Self-cleaning. I love that technology.
Wait, what do they mean by self-cleaning?
I think when you do your business and then you close the door and lock it, you get like air freshener and spray and deodorizer and all the stuff goes in to clean that thing. The robots do it.
It's like an internal robot car wash that cleans the bathroom because they know the homeless are going to destroy it.
Yes. And so if you have automatically cleaning bathrooms, I think you're right. The people who are working there, the bathroom attendants, are just there to make sure the homeless don't do meth.
Because when they do meth, they like to light things on fire and they like to destroy bathrooms.
You shouldn't have to see what I seen when I first came here.
We met Whitney at the Civic Center pit stop. Unhoused herself, she uses them daily.
And it's giving people opportunity to go and use the best restroom in peace.
You know, I don't want to prejudge anybody, but I can tell that's meth.
Well, you can tell she has no teeth. I haven't seen a picture of her, and I can tell you she has no teeth.
And it's giving people opportunity to go and use the best restroom in peace and not have to, do their business out in public. And that's like...
The speed that she is talking, the fact that you can't understand a word of it, even the affectation, everything says meth.
And I love the fact that she said, if you take this away, we're going to do it in public.
I mean, They will.
They have.
They'll make us bring back that map. Remember when a guy developed an app that tracked all the poop in San Francisco?
Oh, yes.
And it's giving people the opportunity to go and use the restroom in peace and not have to, do their business out in public. And that is so, inhumane, you know what I mean?
This year, the Department of Public Works.
It's another one. If they say you know what I mean a lot, that's meth.
That's a tell, huh?
This year, the Department of Public Works has roughly $12 million allocated for the pit stops. DPW.
I'd say it's worth it.
Yeah, this seems like money well spent.
There's a lot of waste, fraud, and abuse in San Francisco. Look at all the money that went out to the crooked homeless nonprofits, including the ones that former Supervisor Dean Preston was connected to. But keep the bathrooms, please.
I'm sure they're overpaying for all of this, and I'm sure there's some connected contractor that's making a mint off of it. Whatever it is, it's still worth it.
This is a government function that literally performs a service.
DPW said.
Remember those really expensive toilets that they found out the military was buying, or the Department of Defense? And it was Bernie Ward, who was actually a talk show host on this radio station before a bit of a scandal. And he worked for Barbara Boxer at the time, and he was the one that found it, and that was his claim to fame. And we were spending insane amounts of money on bathrooms. If we were spending that amount of money on each one of these toilets to keep San Francisco clean, it's worth it.
DPW says it will be looking at which stops are used the least and cutting hours to cut costs. Its proposal for next year would slash that number in half to meet the mayor's budget requests, which we asked him about Monday.
Seems to kind of go against Cleaner Streets Initiative, but there's a balance to strike. I mean, are you going to advocate for this, against this?
We're reviewing all options right now. We're sitting.
Danielle Lurie, you might have to dip into the trust fund and keep those toilets open.
Yeah, do not close these toilets down.
We're reviewing all options right now. We're sitting down with department heads daily starting right now and over the next 60 days. It's going to be a tough budget season. We know this, and we have outside forces. We're going to control what we can control, and we look forward to reviewing all proposals.
I wonder if he wants to pull a Karen Bass and go to Sacramento and beg Gavin for a bailout.
Please, Gavin, can we have money for more toilets?
I mean, if there's any city Gavin would give a bailout to, it's San Francisco.
The department tells me there will be 3 factors they're looking at for each pit stop: usage, location, and proximity. There are several in the Tenderloin, so cutting a...
No, keep them. Please keep them.
In fact, we need more.
There are several in the Tenderloin, so cutting a location there could be an option.
The next time I'm walking through the city, I would like to be able to look at the beautiful buildings and the gorgeous skyline and not constantly looking down at this concrete to make sure I don't step in something.
Well, and if you piss the homeless off by shutting these toilets down, you know how they're going to protest.
This is all in flux, though. Before the mayor has to balance the budget in June, he could reject DPW's proposals and cut from other departments.
Well, I'm curious as to how they chose this program. Did the Department of Public Works look at anything else?
Right. No, a spokesperson tells me that 95% of its budget is going towards street cleaning initiatives already. So there's not a lot of wiggle room. So, this is kind of one of their primary places where they say, okay, well, let's look at...
This is a department that needs to be fully funded.
Okay, if street cleaning is what you do, here's what you do. If you clean the streets, let's say 6 days a week, cut it down to 5. Keep the toilets.
Certain pit stop locations that might not be getting used a lot, if there's 3 in a 1 mile stretch.
So the money's spoken for. A lot of it is not discretionary.
Correct.
All right.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mom.
So there's the latest on the public bathrooms in San Francisco that are at risk of having their budgets being cut. Please, 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 please cut something else.
If there's anything the world needs in general, it's more toilets. Have you ever been in an airport before and walking around the terminal and go, you know what this airport has? It has too many available clean bathrooms. Why did they waste the money on that? Have you ever been at a stadium before and it's halftime and you walk around and you say, if only we had more hot dog stands and fewer restrooms. I don't know why they went overboard on the restrooms, but that's all they have.
Hell, Dodger Stadium still has the troughs.
No one at any point in time has ever said that. And we're just talking about places where it costs money to be. You have to buy a ticket to be in the airport. You have to buy a ticket to go to the baseball stadium or the football stadium or the hockey arena or basketball arena. And there are a few toilets there. Now you're dealing with the homeless. My guess is the Rite Aid doesn't want to allow them to use the restroom there because they'll destroy that instantly. And then they'll rob it. So they probably get a look of disapproval when they try to use it there. We're all familiar with the battle that Starbucks has had. So if you have some city toilets that can keep them from going in public spaces, let's encourage that.
You know, there's this beautiful little town that I visit from time to time in Santa Barbara County called Los Olivos, where a lot of wineries are. It is such a small town, and apparently it's impossible to get the city to actually install public toilets anywhere. So you have all of these gorgeous wineries in a beautiful part of Santa Barbara County, and on the main drag, there's just a bunch of porta potties.
Well, you don't own the wine, you rent it. If you'd like to email the show, you can do so at johnnydon'tlikeshow@gmail.com. That's johnnydon'tlikeshow@gmail.com. And Randy, you're monitoring the mailbag.
Nicholas writes in at johnnydon'tlikeshow@gmail.com. Something tells me those toilets need to be cleaned 8 days a week.
Yeah, no kidding. And Mr. Clean will be going on strike. I ever tell you I have a friend who worked at a grocery store in the Las Vegas metro area?
Oh, no.
And this is where I first became aware that this was a regular problem. If the bathroom is pristine and a homeless person goes in and uses it, it looks like a bomb went off in there. So the grocery store can open at 6 in the morning. If someone goes in there, and you could have a surgery in there, it's that clean, and a homeless person goes in there and uses it, it is destroyed. And I mean from ceiling to floor. With everything you can imagine and most things you don't want to imagine. And so my friend, who was the newbie on the shift, was asked to clean the bathroom after the homeless person destroyed it. And they said, but before you do it, you need to wear this. And he said, what do you mean? I'm in my uniform. I just put some gloves on or something. They go, oh, no, 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 no. They gave him a hazmat suit.
Oh, my.
Like something you would wear if you were in one of the COVID wards right at the very beginning at the peak of the virus. Or something an astronaut would wear on the moon. So he said, okay, I don't know why I need all this get up, but maybe it's some kind of OSHA thing or company policy. Seems like overkill. I'm just cleaning a bathroom. What, did someone pour a soda down the sink and I need to clean the sink? Like, what's going on here? So he puts all the get up on and then opens the door to the bathroom that he had just seen 15 minutes ago, and it was pristine. And he said it looked like a crime scene. It looked like a bathroom that had not been cleaned in months and had been used by thousands of very, very, very unkempt people. Let's put it that way. And it was literally one person that used it. And it took him an hour to clean it up. And he said it was the most disgusting, dehumanizing thing he's ever done before in his entire life. So he finally gets out, and he takes all the hazmat suit off. And they say, oh, well, because you did it, we're going to give you a $100 gift card to wherever, Starbucks, I don't know. That's what you get for doing it, so thank you very much. And he thought, oh, my God, what an anomaly. Just my luck. On my shift, the one person that has no regard for other humans used the bathroom, and I had to clean it up. About an hour later, another homeless person comes in and uses it, and they say, hey, newbie, we have a different hazmat suit for you to wear because that one has to be disinfected. Time for you to put the hazmat suit on and go clean the bathroom again. He opens up the bathroom door after putting the hazmat suit on, and it was worse.
Oh, no.
Not just worse, much worse. And he took the hazmat suit off. He walked up to his boss's office, and he said, you could take this job and shove it. I am done. I am not cleaning that bathroom one more time. That's it. This kid is moving on to greener pastures. And that's what happened. Keep those toilets, San Francisco.